HowGYS, how goes your soul? What you're going to see now is a prototype of a piece of software I've written that can be, hopefully, once we get the go-ahead, become a major web evangelism project using artificial intelligence. So it starts off, so bear in mind that all the videos you're going to see, sorry, we won't see any video, everything you're going to see is 1980s style, monochrome, black on yellow, or yellow white on, or yellow on black. No graphics, you just have to use your imagination, and of course the graphical style will bear absolutely no resemblance to the final thing. So here we go. How goes your soul? Whoa. Yes, I know, terrible, isn't it? Let's change it slightly so you can actually see something. Right. Okay. Right. Select the option that fits you best. So it starts off with a bank of 3 questions or statements, and you look at those 5, and I'll read them very quickly, and you decide which one you want to start with. That sort of describes where you are. So firstly, I have absolutely no interest in basing my life and decisions on a non-existent entity in the sky, or I'm the master of my own destiny. If I mess up my life, I've no one to blame but myself, or I strongly identify with the religion I've been born into, or I've got a strong faith, or I've got an open mind, etc. And so this system, it would have taken years and years to program if it's a situation where I'll be giving everyone total freedom to type anything now. So we're going to be going through a predetermined route to show you the possibilities. So it's asking you, good idea if you choose the second one, number 2. So we're going to choose number 2, which is, I'm the master of my own destiny. If I mess up my life, I have no one to blame but myself. Any achievements are due to my own efforts. Okay, so it now drills down to the next level that sort of follows on from this statement. Either, well, I don't think too deeply about things, or life has no meaning or purpose. Everyone's in it for themselves. I try and be cheerful and do my best. Everything should be doubted. So I'm going to choose number 2. As I said, this is going to be a predetermined route. So number 2. So you can see at the bottom the 2 statements that you've come from. I'm the master of my own destiny. Life has no meaning or purpose. So in this final choice, we're going to be creating what I call a user profile. Again, 5 possibilities. Nothing I do is going to make a difference. I feel powerless, wish it could be otherwise. Other people have all the luck. Too many bad things have happened to me. I wish I could feel more confident. We're going to pick the 4th one. Too many bad things have happened to me to make me feel positive about the future. Option 4. So we're going to select that. Or now we go to a screen. The bottom half of the screen is just for our purposes to actually know what's going on underneath. Okay. So it's taken us to a point where it's now selected 3 pieces of content, which will probably be videos. And we see from these 1, 2, and 3 at the top that the first video is going to show the individual the value of community. The second one is going to show how pride comes before a fall. And the third one is, why don't you look beyond self? So what it's done, it's worked from what it thinks is your user profile, as which it gets from the way that you answered those first 3 banks of questions. So what it's done is it's come up with 5 words that would describe how it thinks you are. So the 5 words that would describe you as far as the computer or the artificial intelligence is concerned is, you're an individual, pride is the problem, self, despair, meaningless. They're the first 5. And so what the computer has done now is it's taken those 5, matched them against all the content I have in the memory banks. And there's not much, I mean, I couldn't program that much. There is, in fact, very little memory in this basic program, basic computer. So I actually have 30 pieces of content. So out of the 30, it's chosen the 5 or the 3 that are the best fit for those user profile words. So it's come up with those possible 3. So we have to choose from these 3. Again, it's going to force me along a path, and I'm going to take the path of, I like that video I've just seen about community. I think I would like to, take this a little bit further. So I was going to select the first one, and then what the computer now says, okay, you've seen that video, you've selected it. What do you think? Was it very helpful? Did you find it interesting? Not relevant? or I disagree with this. And what this does is, because you are grading what you've just seen, the computer now has an idea of, more about you. You've seen a piece of content and you've reacted to it, and accordingly, it now is powered. And this is the thing that powers the whole thing: is this progress factor. You can see it in the bottom half, and it's got number 50, which is the starting point, and that is going to tell the computer how you are progressing to a point where the gospel can start to make interest be important to you. So we've got a piece of content. The number of the content is so it's content number 6, by the way, the one about community, and the number after it, number 1, indicates to the computer its, say, polemic value. How opinionated that piece of content is. And so these are all important bits of factors and variables that all go towards working out your route through the system. So we're going to say, well, number 2, I found this interesting. So you're going to press 2, found this interesting. Okay, so it now comes up with, as it did at the beginning, 5 more statements. And you can see they're connected to the video you've just seen. So it's all about community now. I don't think I could live in a community, or I'm a very private person, I keep myself to myself, or I'd like to give community living a go, I think, or I'm not too keen on sharing my things, or I'd like to know more about living more communally. And you can see the progress factor has now jumped a little bit. You've gone a little bit further along the line. You've shown a bit of interest in community, so it's now 50.5. Okay, so we're going to tell it to take option number 5. I would like to know more about living more communally. Option 5. Okay, so again, it now selects the videos, 3 videos that and it's very similar to the one. You haven't actually moved too far. The first one is Introduction to Community Living. Would you like to see a video on that? And now suddenly the word Christian starts coming in. Christian model. It just throws it in just to see, how you react to it. A Christian model for society, or how to show how pride comes before a fall. Okay, again, progress factor is 50.5. Your user profile has changed now. It's you started off with different 5 words. You've now got words like community and sharing, openness sort of in there. So it's sort of zeroing in a little bit on what it thinks your interests are. So we're going to choose from those 3. I think number 1 we're going to choose Introduction to Community Living. We've now seen that video, and again we grade it. Very helpful, interesting, not relevant, or I disagree. And this time you've found it very interesting. So you're going to select number 1, very helpful. So you're going to select that, and look, see what happens. Suddenly your progress factor has gone up by 3. You're very much into community, it seems, which is a very positive thing for understanding the gospel. So it's decided, to add another 3 to your progress factor, and now it's getting closer or further along the line to maybe Christian or religious community living. So here's the 5 options you can select from. Tell me more about living in a community. How can I be more community minded? I would be interested in a Christian community. I'm interested in a non-religious community, or actually it doesn't really interest me at all. So now you're going to select option 2. How can I be more community minded? So again, this may not be what you would select, but this is just a fictitious person going through this, and this is how they're reacting. So 3 more videos. Again, Introduction to Community Living. How I learned to live with others. A Christian model for society. And you can now see user profiles at the bottom. You've got a word charity, caring, giving, community, sharing. It's getting a sort of a profile of you that's quite positive at the moment, and I wonder how long that's going to last. So, Introduction to Community Living. Did you find that helpful, interesting, not relevant, disagree? Actually, suddenly, I've had enough of this community stuff. Actually, I'm not as interested as I thought I was. I'm going to take option 4. I disagree with this. I don't like the video I've just seen. Right. Progress factor suddenly drops massively by 5, in fact, down to 48.5. And but then, the statements will reflect that. So it's now saying, I'm not sure that we're on the same page here, or tell me more about community living. It's still trying. I'm really not cut out for this kind of living. I wish I was more spiritually minded. This is all a bit touchy-feely for my liking. So it's almost like you've now decided to put a stop on this sort of direction, because what we're going to choose is option 1. I'm not sure that we're on the same page here. Then what happens now that, and this is a feature of artificial intelligence, the computer has decided, well, it's wasted a bit of time, it's not really getting very far, let's hit them with something, a wild card. It's going to pick up a video out of its memory bank that's really going to hopefully, shatter your illusions a little bit, make you sit up and take notice. And this is option 1. So the first video that you could look at is one that's you must see this incredible true story. So it'd be like a great testimony, again, or introduction to community living, or how I learned to live with others. You're going to select number 1. You're going to give it a chance. You're intrigued. Okay, you don't realise at this stage maybe that it's going to be a Christian thing, but you're willing to give it a try because you've been sucked in, and this is clickbait, as they call it. You've been pulled in through as clickbait. So, but interestingly, it's made an impact on you. I found that really helpful, number 1. And so you're going to select number 1. I really enjoyed that testimony. Wow, it's really made me think. Press 1. And look, again, progress factor zoomed up to 54.5. Do you have more videos like that? Prove to me this wasn't a fake video. I want some of what this bloke had. That was just superstitious nonsense. Oh, okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. I'm going to take option 5. Okay, I'm not going to go over the top. I'm intrigued. Tell me more. Option 5. So pick option 5. And now we start getting videos that are going along what we say are more of a Christian path. Is there really anything out there? There's a video on that. A video that says, I accept that belief is important to many people, sort of a non-committal, or I must admit that I'm curious about matters of religion. Where are we going to go now? Again, we've got a good progress factor. We can look at the user profile. It's becoming more Christian now. Belief, searching, spirituality, openness, caring. Going to select, I think, option 1. And you've just seen a video on, is there really anything out there? And again, it's really intrigued you. You found it very helpful. So you're going to press number 1. Now look at the progress factor, 59.5. User profiles all looking really good. Another bank of 5 questions. I would like to believe in God, but not sure how. If you can show me proof of God, I'll go for it. Why should I go for the Christian God? I'm very interested. Tell me more. This has all been a big mistake. Convince me otherwise. So the person looking at this is interested, not going to go too over the top. I'd like to believe, but not sure how. Tell me more. Option 1. And now you've got 3 videos, and you cannot be more explicit. Who is Jesus? What is Christianity? Is there real hope in this world? It's going to select and look at the user profiles, gospel, salvation, Jesus. So you can see the artificial intelligence is zeroing in and pulling you along into something. People are not going to see this. You're only going to see the top bit. So this is just for you and I to see how the mechanism works. Progress factor, 59.5. So we're going to choose, I think, option 2. And you said, I found this interesting. I just watched a video on what is Christianity, and I find it interesting. So option 2, you're going to select. Right, so we're now over 6. We're now 63.5 in our progress factor. We started at 50, remember. I'm almost convinced. Tell me more. This is compelling. What should I do now? I still have a few questions, I think. I think I may be ready for commitment, or this is absolute nonsense. And you're going to select option 2. This is compelling. What should I do now? Now, something happens. Right, you can see the difference. You've got 3 videos there, and you can carry on doing as we're doing, and going on and on and on. It sort of loops round and takes you on an interesting journey. But, and this is where the artificial intelligence comes in, it's looked at the progress factor, and it's taken like a threshold of maybe 62 and says, if this person's progress factor goes above this threshold, we're going to produce a golden button. If you feel ready, press this golden button. Press 9. So obviously on the real thing you'll see a proper golden button, but we have no graphics here. So if you press 9, takes you out of the whole system. You have reached a significant stage of your journey. What you do now may well determine the rest of your life, so the decision you make now mustn't be taken lightly. Are you ready? And what this is going to do is simply encourage you to pray, nothing more. But one of the things it will do is it will also send emails to our intercessors, or a WhatsApp group of intercessors who will now, at this moment in time, pray for you. And hopefully, through this spiritual atmosphere that they're generating, you are going to make a significant prayer, and then you're going to move on. And that's basically it. We don't go any further than that. We don't link them up to churches. We just start them on a journey of discovery, and we leave the rest up to the Lord. So I hope that has been self-explanatory. It's a very blocky display, not the best display you can imagine, but I hope the idea has got across. And if you're interested, you can see the details underneath this video. Thank you for watching.